The first thing I want to start with is air quality in your home. I had a mold test done in our home just to make sure that there was no mold present. And it was really interesting because we did have higher levels of mold in our hallway where our jackets hang from going outside. And when I talked to the mold consultant about it, he was like, actually, I'm not surprised. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to do the mold test in your hallway, because on a farm, you're going to have more mold. Mold is composting things, it's breaking things down. And so it wasn't a dangerous level. It was a normal level. It was just higher than in other places in our home. And so that was one of the reasons he was like, I tested in there specifically because I knew that, your activities here on the land, and then just to see what they were, but they were totally acceptable, just higher. And in this segment, I want to really talk about a lot of actually free things that you can do to make the air quality in your home a lot better. So the very first thing that you can do that is completely free and very easy is to remove your shoes when you come in. So even CB, our cameraman, he is shoeless because I do ask people that come to remove their shoes. And why? Why is that so important? So there are bacterias, chemicals, um, fungus, viruses that get onto the bottom of your shoes, and then you walk them into your home, and then you bring them into your house. Like, think about it, you're standing at the gas station. What could possibly be, and what is most likely on the ground at the gas station? Fuel, gasoline, diesel that has spilled, and then you are standing there and those chemicals are getting on your shoes. Let's not even talk about if you go into a public restroom, what is potentially on the floor, and most likely on the floor, unless it's a super clean public restroom, which, I mean, that's most likely not going to happen. There are feces that are on the ground that we can't see, and that is on your shoes. And then, a lot of people say, oh, well, the friction of walking will take the bacteria and all the stuff. Well, there's still chemicals on it, but I also have read that you don't really actually have a lot of friction because, when you're thinking of washing your hands, this is friction, but like we don't walk like that. Like we don't slide, it's more of a step. While there is some friction, a lot of that stuff still stays on your shoes. And so that is honestly the very easiest, cheapest thing that you can do to, besides a lot of these other things that I'm going to share next, to just improve the air quality in your home. Justin he doesn't do well, so I brought his slippers. If you don't do well, if you need the foot support, you can buy slippers. Of course, that does add a little bit of expense. Or like me, I just wear socks. I love these woolly smart wool socks that keep my feet warm in the winter. I don't really wear socks in the summer, but slippers or socks are easy ways to just keep your air quality clean, your floors clean. As you guys know, as you're homesteading, farming, there's a lot of animal feces that you step in, as well as mud. I mean, we have mud season sometimes, and then just plain dirt. We're walking around in dirt a lot of times. Sure, we are walking in grass as well, but it really cuts down on the need for cleaning as well. So that's always a proponent that if there can be less cleaning, then I'm like, yes, let's do that. Because who wants to spend your time cleaning? Another super cheap and easy thing that you can do is open your windows. If you don't live near a busy road, you can open them in the daytime. If you live near a busy road because of pollution and things, it would be better to open them at night. I actually sleep with my window open every night in the winter, fall, winter, spring, because I love the cool air that's coming in. But then also it's just, bringing in fresh air for us to breathe as we sleep. And so that's always beneficial. But I believe it's like 5 minutes a day with your windows open can literally refresh the air in your home. And so it's another very cheap and easy thing that you can do to just improve the air quality of your home. In fact, like on these amazing, gorgeous fall days that we've been having, we've been opening our windows for almost the entire day just because it feels so good. Like the breeze and all of the fresh air that's coming in. We're trying to spend obviously as much time outside, but when we're inside, we're like, let's bring it inside. Not only though does the fresh air improve your air quality, it also boosts your mental health. Like it's a breath of fresh air, literally. And so it really does just help your mood feel better. Another super easy thing that you can do, a little bit more, this is actually on the spending money scale, is using non-toxic cleaners. I'm a huge fan of vinegar and baking soda, using that just to clean. And then I use like an essential oil cleaner that smells really good, but it's non-toxic and it mainly uses essential oils to disinfect. And then also I love Briotech. It's another good non-toxic alternative. Basic H is from Shackley is another good non-toxic cleaner. So these are all options that you can use to clean your home. It will keep the nasty chemicals out of your home and disinfect. Because if you've been wearing your shoes in your house, I say stop wearing them and then just give your floors a good deep cleaning and you're good to go. Okay, so this is more on the spendy scale, which is an air purifier. Austin Air is the purifiers that we use in our home. There's a lot of good ones out on the market. Austin Air isn't the only one. They actually stopped making these little units, which were for the bedroom, which was really sad because I wish I would have bought one. One more. I needed one more. But I'm sure I could probably find one used and just replace the filter. But Air Doctor is a good one. There's a ton of different ones that are on the market. Actually, there's ones that if you actually have mold in your home, I mean, that's something important. If you suspect that you have mold in your home, I would highly recommend getting a mold test done. You can do the dust mold test. You can do an air mold test. I think there's a sticker air test as well. I would just call a remediation company and ask them to go ahead and test your home for mold. Of course, you want to remediate what's causing it. We just finished waterproofing our basement. We had a start of a mold issue. Again, we had the guy come in and test. And in the area that we were most concerned about, he was actually very surprised at how little mold we actually had growing, but obviously it's something we needed to get taken care of. So we spent a lot of money, unfortunately, doing home improvements that you can't see, which was waterproofing the basement. And then we had the mold company come in and kind of do the cleaning that they, just to make sure that things were going to be cleaned up. And I believe they're going to come back out and do another air test just to make sure that they did get all of the mold. And it's important if you suspect that if you see mold or you smell it, that you get a mold test done and then remediate it. But then also using air purifiers, because as you know, with shoes, jackets, mold is going to be being brought into your home if you do Homestead. And so having this kind of as a backup is great. There's like a large particle filter on the outside and then the smaller particle filter, I guess that's what it's called. Maybe it's called the HEPA filter. I don't know. Is on the inside. And I just monthly-ish, I try to remember to do it monthly, is you just unscrew it and just, vacuum the large particle filter, because then it makes it work better. Obviously, if the first filter isn't all clogged up, and that just makes it last longer. the Austin air purifiers, their filters are a little bit more expensive, but they do last 3 to 5 years. We've had them, we're going on almost 5 years, and I've only had to replace one filter. So I feel like that's doing pretty good. But again, there are a ton of different air filters on the market. I wouldn't really recommend the ones from the big box stores. I would definitely recommend going with like a company that is more focused on air purifying to get a better air purifier. But if your budget can only allow for a big box air filter, I believe that last time I checked, but of course things are very different price wise, like $150-ish for a big box store, hardware store, you can get, an air purifier. If that's more in your budget, I want to say Austin Air doesn't sell the smaller ones, but I want to say that this was maybe $400. But like I said, I bought it 5 years ago and it's been running ever since. And I pretty much run it. I have it off right now because we're filming, but I pretty much run it all the time, even when we're sleeping. Because we have such a distance from our bed, there are EMFs that do emit from this, but we're so far away that I feel comfortable running it at night. I like to have it running in my kids' rooms just to keep the air clean. But there is another, if you do suspect that you have mold in your home and you've remediated it, there is a more expensive air filter. I believe it's called High Tech air filters, and they are much pricier. It's like $2,000 for one. But if you've remediated your mold problem, there could still be issues. This one will actually clean the mold. Like it's a very high tech air filter. Anyways, I don't quite understand it, but you can go to their website, and if you are like, I really need this because I'm super sensitive to mold and I absolutely need this, and this little purifier isn't going to catch the mold particles as intensely as the High Tech, then I would highly recommend getting that one. Just do your research online and get an air purifier that fits in your budget and your needs. This next one is on the cheap and free scale. It is get rid of clutter. Why would you think getting rid of clutter in your home would improve your air quality? Well, there's lots of reasons. In clutter, a lot of dust and stuff hiding. And so when you get rid of it, then you can clean more efficiently. Like if I had a bunch of clutter, and I'm not saying that I don't have clutter, I'm not saying that I didn't move clutter so that this would look nice, but I'm actively trying to get rid of clutter in our home. And so if there was a bunch of clutter, stacked up over here, I wouldn't move that to vacuum around it. I wouldn't be able to get in the corners and vacuum, things out. So I think that it's super important to try to get rid of as much clutter in your home as possible. I know that it's hard, and I know y'all have seen my home in some really bad, bad stages of clutter. So funny story, my kids, I let their room get really, really, really bad. I couldn't actually get in there because it was so overwhelming because there was so much clutter. And Justin just went out of town, and so I had the 3 older kids with me, and I was like, we are going to get in that room and we're going to clean it out. And y'all, like literally 4 trash bags of trash, like trash was just in there. And we mopped, we vacuumed, and like there was still dirt everywhere. It seemed like. So I'm just saying, like, the air quality in their room was probably extremely poor. And not only is the air quality better in their room, their mental health is feeling better. Like they've all made comments. It feels so much better in here. So not only is getting rid of clutter good for your air quality, it's also good for your mental health. So I highly recommend it. I have literally just been going through everything and being brutal is what Justin says. Be brutal. Get rid of the stuff that you don't need. Be realistic about what you do need, because in reality, we need a lot less than we think we do. So another cheaper way to improve air quality is plants. So having plants in your home can freshen the air. There are a lot of different plants that you can bring into your home that do a lot of different things. And so I just recommend that you research what the plants are that work for your needs the best. I am the world's worst with house plants though. I literally kill them. It's so funny. Justin's like, "Oh, you bought another plant to kill." I, li- I literally bring the plants in. I have such good intentions, and then I just kill plants left and right. So do your research on what are the plants that best fit your needs in your home, and for also lighting, because like this room is on the facing north side, and so we don't get a lot of like really bright light in here. And so there are certain plants that do better in low lights, and then there's some plants that need a lot of bright light. So you definitely need to research the lighting in your home with the needs and your budget. And then the last thing that we can do is stop bringing toxins into our home. There are so many things that literally have just chemicals baked onto them and into them that can just wreak havoc in your home. If you have a newly built home, there's so much formaldehyde and glues and all the things that have put your house together that are off-gassing. Super important to be airing out your home, to be running air purifiers. But then also like furniture, there's flame retardants in there that are getting into the dust of your home. There are, it's off-gassing. I mean, we just got a new range and it was so bad. It was so intensely bad. You do the burnout where you put it up really high and you let it burn all the chemicals off. And y'all, it was horrible. Like, I feel like I burned that thing for like 8 hours on 550 because it just smelled so bad. And I was wiping it down. I was doing all the things that I was finding online to do to make it like a lot less. We had air purifiers running. We had air coming in from outside. We had it going out. We had the exhaust happening. And it still just was like I feel like a very long and intensive. And I just kept thinking of all the air quality issues that was happening right then. But it's over now. Thank goodness. That is something that, though, that we just need to think of and be mindful of. It would have been best if we could have just not even been in our house when that was happening, but that wasn't possible. And we just do the best that we can with what's happening in our current life. So I hope that this has brought a lot of light to how you can increase the air quality in your home and live a better life.